Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jonathan back again with the weekly scuffle, and I'm here to talk about Kingpyn Boxing and their return to influencer boxing because of DAZN. Apparently, the company was going to go into bankruptcy or something of the sort, but then DAZN picked it up and is now hosting the event. And honestly, I think that's a good thing for the influencer space because we got some big fights in this space right here. Of course, starting off with Gibb versus Jarvis. Honestly, this is one of the bigger fights. Gibb, he's fought a lot of the guys in the scene, including Jake Paul, Austin McBroom, and now FaZe Jarvis. And of course, everybody knows FaZe Jarvis, the Fortnite legend who got banned for hacking and is now a boxer and quite good at boxing. So it's very interesting to see this fight actually come to fruition. And honestly, I like both these guys. I think both these guys have a lot of potential in the scene, and that's why I do think Gibb will ultimately win this fight, simply because he has more experience. I think you give Jarvis more time, I think he can potentially match or surpass what Gibb has done, but I feel like Jarvis is just a little bit too raw. I believe he only has 2 fights, while Gibb has around 6, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a great fight. It's probably going to be a war. Both guys are going to go in and try to pressure each other because they both are technical pressure fighters. And I think it's going to be a great fight. And then, of course, we have the main event, which is Whindersson Nunes versus King Kenny. And King Kenny, while being a friend of Deji and KSI, and of course the Beta Squad, he has proven to be a solid fighter, but he has some faults and, of course, has lost a couple of his fights and has a few controversial decisions going his way and against him after they've been overturned. So it's going to be very interesting to see how his technical approach goes against who some people may believe be one of the biggest superstars in influencer boxing in Whindersson Nunes. He is from Brazil. He sold out a crowd in the UK, which is very insane considering all the UK fighters that were in that crowd and in the fight. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see how his star power carries over to Dublin, and if he can sell out the crowd there too. That this is the reason why he got moved to the main event into this spot, because he apparently is that guy, and his boxing skills are a little iffy to me. I know one of his first fights was against a world champion in an exhibition, and he held his own, to be fair to him, and he has a lot of money, so of course he's gonna have the best trainers available to him, the best equipment, the best diets, everything you could think of. He'll probably have it, and he probably does have it and affords it pretty easily. So it's gonna be very interesting to see, because if he does end up winning this tournament, it could set up potentially a major fight against a KSI or a Deji or people of that caliber. And it's gonna be very interesting to see what his skills are now that he's fighting someone like King Kenny, who has been boxing for a while now. And I think it's kind of underrated in this scene simply because he has length. He is coached by his brother, who is a professional boxing coach, and has a stable of a few young up and coming fighters. So it's gonna be very interesting to watch. And honestly, I don't know where I would lean to. I feel like King Kenny probably has the advantage just because he's a more technical and longer fighter. But at the same time, Whindersson does have everything you need to succeed in boxing because he has the money. So of course he has the training and everything. So if I had to bet money on it, I'd probably go King Kenny for a decision. But I would not be surprised at all if Whindersson comes in. It really does depend on Whindersson's power. If he has enough power to keep Kenny off him and actually hurt Kenny, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting fight. But with all that being said, we'll see how all this plays out. I'll see you next time. Peace.